He is the Funk Master, Aljamain Sterling, and it's nice to see him get his flowers, right? I mean, certainly you were there in 2017 when he lost to Marlon Moraes, and a lot of people sort of were writing the book with closure on Aljamain Sterling. A few years later, best bantamweight in the world.
I mean, best bantamweight in the world, and showing it, you know, from winning the title in a disqualification to coming back and beating Petr Yan in the way that he did, then dominating TJ Dillashaw in the way that he did. It shows you who Aljamain Sterling really is. But tonight, he's going to have to be very specific in his approach if he wants to beat this new oncoming challenge.
And some of you may have heard Aljamain Sterling this week talking about a potential move up to 45. Could happen as soon as next week. Tonight, though, back on the proven ground in his customary 135-pound waters. The Funk Master, Aljamain Sterling. He has graced the octagon with his mind set on one thing tonight, that UFC championship belt. All right, here we go. Sugar Sean O'Malley, and you can argue a lot of these people in the building tonight are here to see him. You can argue, though, this is his stiffest challenge in the UFC.
I believe so. I believe this is the toughest one. And I know he's fought Petr Yan, the former champion. I know he's fought Pedro Munoz, but this opponent tonight is going to push him in ways that he has not been pushed before. Does Sean O'Malley use his fantastic footwork, his speed, and his mind to set enough traps to get the victory? I guess we'll see very shortly.
Well, you all know the judges are looking for damage and moments of damage, and Sean O'Malley has been pretty good at providing those over the last several years in the UFC. Sugar Sean O'Malley, ready to engage in another high-profile matchup here tonight. Our tale of the tape for this bantamweight championship fight. All right, to get us started with the official introductions, here is Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. It's time! 5 rounds for the undisputed UFC Bantamweight Championship of the world. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, presenting the challenger, Aljamain Funk Master Sterling. And now introducing the champion, fighting out of the red corner, presenting the reigning, defending, undisputed UFC Bantamweight Champion of the world, Sugar Sean O'Malley.
Herbert Dean's in the building. He's the third man in the octagon tonight. All right, here's the Sugar Show, Sean O'Malley, ready to go tonight against Aljamain Sterling, and these guys have gone back and forth a little bit, but Aljo understands the challenge that is in front of him here tonight, and we'll see how he chooses to proceed. Most expect he'll try to grapple.
When I look at the matchup, I feel it's the boxing of O'Malley versus the grappling of Aljamain Sterling. But how does Sterling deal with the in-between? From striking to wrestling, that will allow for him to get the fight to the ground, but get the fight to the ground safely without getting hit by one of those bombs from the Sugar Show.
All right, good start for the Sugar Show. Sean O'Malley realizing particular success with that left hand.
Yeah, he's got a great left hand. He's so long for the weight that he pops the jab and he just darts in with the left hand, and you see it on full display right now. Great punch.
Leg kick checked by O'Malley.
Man, he has a great double leg. My goodness, he has a great double leg.
Oh, seamless transition to half guard though.
Unbelievable how quickly he was able to slice that leg through to get to the half guard.
Postures up now and lands a vicious head strike.
Going with that. Dominate those wrists.
Let's go. Just over 2 minutes to go in the round. Making all these shots count. Postures up and lands a... Oh, heavy shots continue to rain down. All right, so he's got the ground and pound game going here. And there it is! The Funk Master delivers.
Oh, my goodness, what a fight.
So no judges needed tonight as he pounds him out for the TKO. I'm hoping I get an invite to the after party. Well, he's going to enjoy watching this one back. Let's take a look at the replay of the knockout just a moment ago.
It was right hand after right hand after right hand. Finally, he found the one that hit the exact sweet spot that ended his opponent's night.
We go right inside the octagon to Bruce Buffer. He has the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Herb Dean has called a stop to this contest at 3 minutes, 38 seconds of the very first round. Declaring the winner by TKO and new undisputed UFC bantamweight champion of the world, Aljamain Funk Master Sterling.
All right, so Aljamain Sterling getting it done by TKO. I believe his first knockout in the UFC since he got Hugo Viana all the way back in 2014. Power, speed on full display on the feet tonight.
Well, he's got it all. Aljamain Sterling has it all. And while you worry about the grappling, Aljo has everything. And he's so...
Ready to fight? Ready.
All right, here is Sean O'Malley coming up on yet another big challenge in the UFC as he draws Aljamain Sterling. A lot of fight fans felt like these guys were on a collision course, and stylistically, what amounts to an absolutely compelling matchup.
It's a stylistic dream because you know that Sean O'Malley wants to stay at range. You know that Sean O'Malley wants to be at a distance where he can use his tremendous striking to pick his opponents apart. How does Aljamain Sterling manage that? How does he manage the distance? How does he manage getting in close without putting him for Kimura down?
Oh, he's got the Kimura locked in. Oh, the submission defense holds up. He gets out.
He said that he was ready for everything that would be thrown at him. In that position, he showed that and proved it.
And just misses with that big right hand. Trying to find a home for that right hand. Useful strike there. The hook is clean. We march on, 3 minutes to go.
Oh, back and forth we go.
Now going upstairs with the left hook. So another takedown here by Sterling.
Over and over, same story. Punch after punch to the head.
Heel hook looks tight. And he's out again.
This work, I'm gonna stand this up.
Man, submission defense is a powerful thing. Offense keeps going for it. Defenders held up every step of the way.
Yeah, the defense have done a great job just making sure he leaves nothing long, no submission attempts. Even when they get him, he continues to stay calm and patient, and he's defending these submissions.
Well, he has done some serious damage with these elbows, DC, and if you're on the other side, you got to figure out a way to stop this from happening.
You got to get those hands up. You got to block whenever you're in tight. Make sure you're not taking all these nasty elbows. I mean, way to stay aware and stay safe defensively. Now he's in side control.
Sterling's able to transition back to side control now. All right, he continues to bully his opponent here, really manhandling him on the ground.
In the half guard. Big ground and pound.
Well, we'll see if he postures up and can get some of his ground strikes going here. Good movement defensively here on the ground by O'Malley. Round one winding down here. Round two next.
Okay, settle down, settle down. Now, his striking is way too amateur for you, okay? You have superior hands. You're going to stick with them. I don't want you to think about anything else.
All right, we now take a look back at some of the highlights from that last round, DC. A lot for the replay guys to choose from.
I mean, these guys are going to be very busy trying to find what replay to show you guys. Lands on both sides of the octagon. Both guys fought great. What a phenomenal round.
You ready to fight? Ready.
Round two is underway. Sterling's able to switch his stance here. We'll see how the defense responds. Head kick is left, it's blocked. Oh, big strike lands.
Big strike lands. Now he looks to try to chase down that finish. Oh, nice right hand.
O'Malley's got a pretty deep bruise now starting to appear on the right side of his body. His opponent has done a lot of work in that region tonight.
Oh, nice double leg, yes.
Ooh, going for a leg lock. Oh, I don't know. That heel hook looks tight. Oh, and now he gives up on the submission.
Great job finding his shots from the top position.
These ground strikes really started to add up. There's another one. Well, doing his able best to avoid the ground and pound here. Nice job by O'Malley. Oh, huge elbow. Might get the TKO here. We'll see what he does here. He postures up and lands to the head. Oh, shades of the Godfather with the ground and pound Mark Coleman as he lands again.
Coley somewhere. And look at him attacking the arm triangle on the other side. He's going to lock him down, try to pass all the way across his body. Once he gets across, he will start to drop his chest to the mat and chase the finish. He chooses to go knee on belly. He starts to rain down big ground and pound. Opponent better move or the fight is going to get stopped.
All right, we'll see if he can apply pressure inside his opponent's guard here, DC. Sterling's back in half guard. He's very comfortable here. Well, he's worked very hard on this part of his game, and these ground strikes are really starting to take their toll. Oh, staying busy from top position. He lands another ground strike there. O'Malley's back in full guard. Ooh, heel hook attempt now, and it looks locked in. Heel hook looks tight.
Working out to finish the heel hook, he's got to secure the legs and keep the hips past the knee if he wants to get a finish.
Oh, that's got to be it. I don't know.
That's it so deep. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, beautiful job to escape.
Great job clearing the knee, getting his weight all the way across and defending that heel hook.
That was fun to watch. All right, so now we start to see some bruising appearing on the torso, and all of that courtesy of the body work of his opponent.
Just the wherewithal to go to the body and the discipline to stay with that approach. I mean, it's just tremendous. You see a fighter with a high fight IQ following a game plan, and it's working.
Listen, you got to protect him. He's landing way too many body shots. What is that about? All right? You're way too good for that. Protect your body.
All right, so there's the end of the round. The storyline over those previous 5 minutes, volume takedowns, offensive wrestling.
Yeah, this is an exhausting type of fight. Not only for the offensive fighter, but also for the opponent. Always being under attack, always being defensive, always reacting starts to really wear at your gas tank. It's interesting to see who is more fresh going into the next one.
So he's really starting to put together some significant body shots here. These are going to take their toll as this fight goes on. Well, that left hand has been there at times, not on that attempt. Spinning back fist. Oh, beautiful entry as he secures the double leg takedown. Well, the ground and pound is there once again. Strong work here by Sterling. Oh, nice job to split his guard and get the ground strike home again. The ground strikes starting to pile up.
Nice shot there by the champ. Yes, smart adjustment, yep.
Well, on paper, it looked like a grappling advantage for him coming in, and largely, DC, that's the way it's played out. The takedowns, the ground control, he's got it all going tonight.
He's got it all going, J.A. This is a drink.
Sterling's looking for that arm triangle now. Oh, looks like he's got that arm pin in the triangle now.
Oh, let's get submitted.
Oh, he got out. How good is that?
This guy is so aware. He never leaves anything long to allow for himself to get subbed.
Fighter trying to pass here. Ooh, but gets denied.
Gets denied. Great job, great recognition of seeing what your opponent was trying to do.
Well, he's had next to no answers for the body shots here tonight, and now some redness really starting to develop on that side.
We're starting to see the damage. We're starting to visibly see the effect that all these body strikes are taking on this guy. He's got to do something different, and he's got to be very careful because look for his opponent to go over the top now that he set him up.
Oh, that guillotine is officially tight. Oh, somehow, some way he got out.
These guys are back and forth, and submission defense wins this transition.
Oh, crowd just loving it as the fighters, after an extended grappling battle, make their way back to the feet.
Yeah, they're back on their feet. They spend a lot of energy on the ground, though. These guys are going back and forth on the ground, and ultimately, he's gotten back to his feet to give himself an opportunity.
Oh, nice land with the knee. You see the taller fighter having no issue getting the limb to the target there. Working off of his back here. Looks like he may try to hip escape. Well, this is exactly the sense of urgency you're looking for. Try to take the judges out of it. He is lighting them up now. Final 30 seconds of this third round. Just misses with that one. Oh, he gets the takedown late in the round here. DC, that could be pretty useful when it comes to the scorecards, potentially.
Very useful when it comes to the scorecards, but also a testament to his conditioning and his cardio to still be going takedown attempts at the end of rounds instead of winning fresh.
Sit down. Breathe. Get some water. Relax. And listen, that was awesome. Really good work. Way to control from the top. I need you to work to pass that now.
All right, so that's the end of the round. A lot of highlights from which to choose, but his success in that round certainly rooted in his offensive takedown game.
And that's what he does, right? He's a grinder. He's the type of guy that wants to get a hold of you, drag you to the floor. It doesn't bother him that much if you get back to your feet. He just wants to continue to make you work the entire time because he understands this type of grind most guys can't keep up with.
You ready to fight? You ready?
Fourth round now, fight scheduled for 5 5-minute rounds. Oh, a huge strike lands there, DC.
He landed that massive shot. Now he needs to try to find the next shot, the follow-up shot that will finish the fight.
Well, most fighters can't keep up this type of aggression and pace, but you don't have to worry about this guy. He hasn't really showed any signs of slowing down tonight. Oh, gets the single leg takedown. Pretty good velocity on that one. Sterling's in half guard. Right into side mount.
Oh, right into mount.
Pretty good work with the ground and pound here by Sterling. Man, another one lands. He's trying to pound his opponent's head through the canvas.
He's just being more aggressive, and because he's being more aggressive and more loose with his strikes, he's landing. Look at that, going into the armbar.
Oh, he's got that arm tight now.
He's starting to get it in there deep.
All right, just as we saw a few seconds ago, He finds the home for another ground and pound strike.
Beautiful punch lands there from inside the guard.
And busy as he looks to improve position here. All right, working inside his opponent's guard here.
You cannot sit in these jiu-jitsu guys' guard. And you can't have one arm in, one arm out. Guys will start throwing up legs, chasing triangles.
Oh, Malley getting work here from the top. You don't want to take too many more of these ground and pound strikes. Under 2 minutes here to go, round 4. Oh, he's got it locked in.
He's got that arm triangle deep. This arm triangle is looking pretty tight. He's got it locked in. He's got to clear the guard, drop his chest, and get the finish.
He's gonna go to sleep. It's over.
That is it! Unbelievable. Well, everybody in this arena still digesting this result. What a win for him tonight, and he gets it done by submission, no less.
He said he was going to get it done by submission. To watch an athlete call a shot is always fun. He should be very proud.
All right, let's take a look back at the replay as he gets it done by submission tonight, champ.
Just watch how slowly he approaches the submission, though. He never rushes. He takes his time, but it's his trickiness. It's his ability to trick people into going to the floor with him that puts them in danger and finishing fights.
Let's go to Bruce Buffer inside the octagon with the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Herb Dean has called a stop to this contest at 3 minutes, 31 seconds of round number 4. For the winner by submission, and new undisputed
Here he is, the charismatic UFC lightweight contender and former Bellator champion, Iron Michael Chandler. He said when he signed with the UFC, Daniel, he was not here for a long time, but a good time. And been a darn good time thus far seeing Michael Chandler compete in the big show.
It's been a good time for us. I don't understand how he's having fun when he's involved in those types of fights. But this guy's an absolute beast. I mean, he is a forward pressure, face-first fighter, and those are always the ones that we enjoy. Michael Chandler has the ability to just take it out, but he would prefer to punch you in the face. Let's see how many he goes. Let's see how many he can land tonight as he steps to the octagon.
And Plus Athlete doesn't even begin to describe it. Let's see how it goes for Michael Chandler in another big spot tonight. Michael Chandler steps inside the octagon. He looks ready to go. Well, as usual, the eyes of the mixed martial arts world are fixed upon Paddy, the Batty Pimblett, when he competes. And anytime you're able to win when you're not at your best, as was the case in his win over Jared Gordon, that's a feather in your cap. Pimblett back on the horse tonight.
Win. Ultimately, that's what it's all about. Paddy Pimblett gets the job done. But listen to this arena. Listen to the reaction that people give this young man when he steps from behind the curtain. This guy is a star. He has that star quality about him. But not only does he have that, he can fight. And ultimately, it's about winning fights. Paddy Pimblett does that in spades.
There are so many components to this Paddy Pimblett package, the accent, the persona. But this is a very talented mixed martial artist out to prove as much yet again tonight. Well, so much UFC history has played out here at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. Plenty more where that came from tonight. The athletes are ready to go. Our tail of the tape for this, our main event of the evening. Here once more, Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. It's time! 5 rounds in the UFC heavyweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, Iron Michael Chandler. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, Paddy the Baddy Pimblett.
Herb Dean, our referee for this one.
Ready.
All right, big spot in a career-full event for Iron Michael Chandler as this round gets underway. He has had a lot of big highlights since he signed with the UFC. As far as his strength and conditioning regimen, there may be guys who work as hard. Nobody works harder than Michael Chandler, and he believes he is going to be able to outlast the opposition here tonight and take him into deep waters. Straight right hand now, just misses. Chandler gets caught by that straight punch. His defense has abandoned him tonight.
Chandler tries to throw that left hook.
Oh, beautifully placed with another punch there. All right, so there's that power right from Michael Chandler. He talked a lot about mixing it up this week, but that right hand is his weapon of choice, and he found the button early.
It is his weapon of choice, and I think a lot of his success is based on the fact that he's such a high-level wrestler. So when he level changes, people tend to drop their hands, and Chandler drops that big right hand on him. I think this is one of the best athletes in the entire UFC.
Just over 3 minutes to go. Oh, that one should leave a mark. Outstanding leg kick employed there by Pimblett. Back and forth we go. Well, you don't want to take too many kicks on that calf, and now it's starting to show some visible damage.
You can see the color starting to change on the calf. He's taking too many of his kicks. The power of Chandler is a sight to behold, man. He's so dangerous. He's so strong physically. And he has so much belief in his strength and his ability to fight at a high pace that he won't slow down.
Oh, nice pop there from the crowd as he finally gets the takedown. He stayed committed to the offense defensive wrestling, and now he has his opponent where he
A sigh of relief from the people watching, because they were tired of watching him flail around trying to get takedowns and get defended over and over again. Finally gets it. Now what does he do with the top control? There it is. Now he's on the mount.
All right, half guard position for him here, and I can hear Dominic Cruz in the back of my head just screaming about underhooks somewhere.
Yeah,
somehow.
he loved, I mean, but he's right? He's so right in terms of if you're on your back in the half guard, one thing you can't be is flat on your back. You need to be up on an elbow.
Right.
You need to be half on the side, and you need to control the far side underhook. It is a battle for underhook when you're fighting in the half guard position on the mat.
He's having his way with him here. Under the neck. Oh, and now he flattens him out, DC. A couple hooks in. This could be trouble.
Look at all that hip pressure he has into his opponent's back. Now he'll start to rain down brutal ground and pound.
And you better intelligently defend here. This could be the beginning of the end. An elbow! Outstanding back and forth first round.
Great work. You just won the round. Now just take a deep breath and relax. When we go back out there, the same game plan, but now I want you to use more kicks.
All right, there's the end of the round, and you've got to be in a serious flow to not just execute that Superman punch, but to even attempt it.
To even try it, you got to be really in your rhythm. Everything has to be going perfectly, as we saw in the lead-up to that attack.
Well, what a round it was. Daniel Cormier, you are one of the greatest mixed martial arts athletes of all time. I'm not sure you can do a Superman punch like that, though.
With my luck, I would try to push off, and my foot would be slipped and wet or something. I would fall right into his knee. Though I would not try that, I don't have that ability. I'm not that free inside the octagon.
Oh, huge right hand from Michael Chandler yet again, and not unlike the one he landed on Dan Hooker a few years back.
I mean, Michael Chandler is a beast. I think he's one of the best athletes we have in the UFC. He works extremely hard, and he's one of those guys that you just want to root for. He's got great power, but don't forget about that wrestling background that allows Chandler to get those hands to drop in. Then you're going to take him down and then up over the top, that overhand right hook. He loaded up there on that high kick. These boys are standing right in front of each other, just kind of going at it. Take it for a ride. Nice double leg, nice finish.
Oh, and he moves into half guard. The guard pass is starting to pile up.
Right away, he takes the far side underhook. Look for damage from the top to come now. Watch the arm. There's the arm bar going up. It's tight.
No, he's out. The fight's going to continue.
Oh, my goodness. I thought it was over. I thought this fight was over.
Oh, he's got him in a crucifix now, D. Oh, arm triangle attempt now. Oh, that arm triangle's wicked tight.
He's starting to get it in very deep. Okay, he's got it. That's it.
Oh, he is out. How good is that?
That is phenomenal submission defense by this young man. That was a slick transition.
Working out of side control here. His opponent trying to control posture, but you got to be careful here.
He's in the mount. He's got to start throwing now.
Outstanding ground and pound here. Somewhat of a lost art in MMA, at least in terms of making sure that every strike counts. Not an issue for him.
He's making every single one of them count. He is not pity-patting. He's not touching. Every punch that lands, he wants you to feel it.
Another submission attempt here, and this is a good one. Oh, compromising spot here. Triangle choke is locked in. Oh, how good is that as he gets out?
That is great submission defense, keeping everything short and not allowing his opponent to get the submission victory. Right here, you got to empty the gas tank, John. You got to just go forward and let everything fly.
20 seconds left.
And the fighters are inverted now.
Kimlet getting work here from the top. Let's see if he goes for a sweep to try to get back to his feet. All right, round 3 coming up next.
All right, breathe. Deep breath in for me. those takedowns with your strike.
All right, a lot of high-level striking action in that last round. Daniel, take us through it, if you will.
Tit for tat. Who has the best chin? It seemed as though they were looking for that answer. Both guys took risks. What a fantastic round.
All right, so a wild round and a wild sequence there on the ground, DC. Talk us through the highlight.
Yeah, man, you see two high-level grapplers going after it. One guy gets an advantage. The other guy always has a response. We thought it was over. A lesser opponent would have been submitted.
His opponent could be out of here soon, DC.
He's almost done. I mean, when you get hit with a shot like that, you don't know whether to run, hide, grab, or wrestle. He's confused. He's as confused as he was on his first test in elementary school.
All right, half guard for him here, and a lot of offensive options, I would think, at his disposal.
Oh, he's got a ton of options. He has submission options, but I believe the safest option for him here is going to be to use his ground and pound. Build a base, posture up, throw big strikes, get back in position, posture again, throw big strikes, and just really wear him down with a really secure position in half guard. Getting him out here. He's got to be careful here.
Oh, postures up and lands a huge head strike there. Nicely done by Pimblett. Just over 3 minutes now to go. Chandler's in half guard.
Now he's going full mount.
We have crossed the midpoint of this fight.
Look at that. Recognize he's about to lose position.
Good movement on the ground here defensively by Chandler.
Yep, got to be very careful there.
He is really doing a nice job with his head movement here defensively on the ground to avoid further punishment.
He isn't waiting until his opponent throws. He's being proactive. And when his opponent throws, he's already moving, so he's missing it.
All right, so you got to be careful playing on the ground with this guy. You don't want to mess around for too long. All right, side control now. We'll see if he can advance position. Good work from the top here by Pimblett. Well, his ground and pound is on full display here tonight. All right, working on the ground here. His opponent's feet on the hips.
Changing the position.
20 seconds now remain in the round. Moving his head on the ground here, avoiding a lot of these big shots. And that'll do it. 15 minutes in the books. What a round it was for him, DC. And, of course, the seminal moment, that big knockdown that he will try to piggyback on here in this next round.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how he builds off of the momentum that he gets from that last round. How does he deal with the success that he had and not push too hard too early trying to find the finish? You have to let it come to you as the knockdown came to you in the previous round.
All right, so a big knockdown for him courtesy of that punch in that round. DC, here's a replay.
Big moment in the previous round. They were both fighting very well, but when he landed this punch right here that sits his opponent down, it showed that the power is not equal, and if he can land, he does have the ability to damage. Nice combination.
Again, he's had a huge strike right there. I'm not sure how many more of these his opponent can take.
Massive shot that he landed. Great job.
The right hand just misses. All right, single collar tie now. Chandler's left calf starting to show signs of bruising. Don't want to take too many more of those. Huge kick right there. Don't want to take too many more of those. That left hook landed on the button. Still plenty of time with which to work here, round 4.
He does a phenomenal job of actually attacking the takedowns off of his punches.
That was nice.
All right, feet on the hips here.
And there you go, again, half guard.
Well, as usual, suffocating work from the top here by Pimblett.
Oh, right into Mo.
He needs to work. I'll stand this up. It's work.
All right, he's in a half-guard position here, DC, and in a good spot to dole out a lot of damage, I would think.
A lot of damage can be done from the half guard. You sit back on that leg, you press down into your opponent, you drop elbows, you drop punches. What is very key is you controlling the underhook on the far side. If you give up that underhook, your opponent can use the half guard to build up to an elbow, sweep, or just chase down a single leg.
Oh, pinpoint ground strike by him there, and that one opened up a cut. Really maximizing his shots here on the ground.
Gotta be careful here.
20 minutes down, 5 to go. All right, there's the horn. The round is over, but not before he was cut on his nose from the strikes in that round. Back to the stool. Cut man is in. Should be able to shut that cut and prevent it from becoming an issue moving forward. But, of course, as soon as he gets struck in that next round, it could open back up. All right, let's check out some of the action, DC, and how about the punching acumen by that fighter in that previous round?
He does not waste anything. He does not loop punches. Everything's tight. Everything's precise. He's a sniper. We always talk about how he's a sniper. He is a sniper, and it showed in that exchange that allowed him to drop his opponent.
You ready to fight? Ready. Good.
Fifth and final round.
Straight punch lands.
Single. Oh, and he's able to land a strike there from the bottom. Nicely done by Chandler. High-level guard pass there as he moves into half guard.
You know the guy's going to his left on the pass, but you cannot stop it. He is tremendous at passing the guard.
A lot of top pressure being applied here as he works out of side control. A lot of top pressure being applied here. Nicely done.
There it is. Now he's going to mount. He's doing a really good job of putting himself in position. He's a big shot, and they're not glancing blows. When he's throwing, he is landing so clean that his head is starting off the mat.
All right, getting late in the fight right now, DC. Dream fight for the fans, maybe not so much for the judges. It's been back and forth.
It's been so close. I would not want to be sitting at the judges' table right now. I don't know who's winning this fight.
Oh, and he locks up a triangle. That looks tight, DC.
It's very tight. And now he's just got to start passing the arm across, pulling down on the head and feed the hips, and he will definitely get the submission. This has got to be the end of the fight.
You need to work on this position.
Oh, he got out.
Wow, that is amazing that he did not tap to that submission. He was in very deep, but he made slight movements, got off to the side, slipped his right arm out, and found safety. Great job defensively.
Well, we got a lot of blood now, ladies and gentlemen. I think my mother just turned off the TV, but every time that area gets targeted, that cut is getting worse and closer, theoretically, to the end of the fight.
Yeah, and, you know, when you got a person like this in front of you that is so good at what they do, when you are bleeding like this and the work is showing, you got to try to find a way to stop them. He needs to try to get a takedown or something, because the more he's standing, the more he's going to have to deal with this cut. And now, all the blood that's coming from the cut.
All these actions, though, these big actions, got to wear on the gas tank of both guys.
45 seconds remain in the round.
Great submission defense on display tonight.
Chandler's in half guard. Continuing to work out of the half guard. Final 10 seconds of the fight. Oh, what a finish to this one as we go the full 25 minutes. Stand and cheer, ladies and gentlemen. The official decision is in. Bruce Buffer has it.
Rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for decision. For the winner by split decision, Paddy the Baddy
Whew, those split decisions are something else. He is happy to exhale at this point in time. It was a close fight, and the judges certainly felt that way as well.
It's the worst feeling in the world when you go to the middle and you're just not sure. Your heart is beating so fast, especially when you hear your opponent's name called
Right.
before you ultimately win the fight. He put in a lot of work. He fought through the adversity and got the job done. He should be very proud.
And now our tale of the tape for this lightweight fight. All right, now to get us started with the introductions, here's Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC lightweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, Bobby King Green. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, Paddy the Baddy Pimblett.
ready to fight? Ready. Good.
All right, early round action here, and if the announcers are being drowned out, it must be because Patty the Batty Pimblett is in the building. As for his focus in this particular matchup, he's not going to discriminate. He believes he has striking and grappling advantages against this particular opponent. And he also believes that his wealth of experience, even pre-UFC, could pay dividends if this fight hits the latter rounds.
Nice kick.
He missed with that jab attempt there. Oh, slips to avoid the right. Well, one got through. That kick was blocked.
He's going to guillotine.
Oh, he escapes.
He got out. I mean, wow. That is great submission defense.
All right, so he can't get it here. Again, good awareness by the defensive fighter. Takes his back now.
Nice.
It's under 3 minutes now to go in the round. Well, working pretty effectively from the top here. Nice ground and pound by Pimblett. Oh, and another punch on the ground gets through. May need some defense here.
And there you go. Again, half guard. Get the mount here. This is where he wants to be.
Under 2 minutes to go in a back-and-forth first round here. Bottom fighter better move.
Yeah, he's got to move, John. He's got to shrimp and try to either get up or pull his opponent back into him so he doesn't have the posture to land that big damage. Now he's got good body position, yup.
Well, the ground and pound has been on point tonight. Good work here by Patty Pimblett. 45 seconds to go here in round one. Oh, that's how you do it. Postures up and lands to the head. Green getting absolutely worked from the top here on the wrong end. Huge elbow there.
In the half guard.
Pimblett's right back to the full mount. That horn sounds means we have reached the end of round one.
All right, sit down. Deep breaths, Jimmy. Big breath. Slow that heart rate down. Everything you're throwing is working, okay? Everything. Let's stay heavy.
All right, let's look back at some of the action, DC. Your good friend Mark Coleman, the godfather of the ground and pound, would be proud.
He'd be very proud. He'd be very proud with the way that he showed his ability to use his ground and pound. He didn't waste any action. He did everything he needed to do. He was able to posture. He was able to control risk. He did everything perfectly in his approach in that ground and pound sequence.
Round two here. Nice straight right lands. Fighter lands a kick to the leg now, and a pretty good one at that. Left hook to the head. Oh, these leg kicks are really starting to pile up in this round as he continues to beat up that leg of his opponent. Quick jab. Well, would you look at that? He has thrown and landed a ton of leg kicks to this point of the fight. Unable to land the head kick there. Gets to the single collar tie now. Misses with the left hook. Both fighters starting to open up a little bit. Glancing right hand lands upstairs. Just over 3 minutes to go.
If this guy doesn't move his head, tonight is off again.
got his back. Trying to guard pass here. Not today.
No, it ain't happening. Good job understanding the transitions.
Oh, might be trying to set up a leg submission here. Oh, I don't know. That heel hook looks tight.
Working now to finish off this heel hook. He's got to keep the knee inside of his hip. Cannot allow for him to beat his hips.
Oh, great submission defense. Well, we'll see if he postures up and can get some of his ground strikes going here. Well, the ground and pound is there once again. Strong work here by Green.
Now he's on top, exactly where he wanted to go. Knee on belly.
Pimlet's able to make a nice transition there back into side control. All right, he's trying to control posture here. Now trying to hip escape.
He's just trying to move out of this position off the bottom.
Green's trying for a submission here.
He's got it isolated. Very smart there. You never favor submission over a dominant position.
All right, so a grueling battle on the ground, and no surprise, the crowd pops in appreciation as the fighters work their way back to the feet.
This is an educated crowd, J.A. They appreciate high-level grappling, and that's exactly what they got in that exchange.
20 seconds to go, round two.
Can't take many of those. You better check.
All right, so he gets the takedown late in the round here, DC. We'll see what he can do with it.
Timed it perfect. This will leave an impression in the judge's mind. And as his opponent, you need to get back to your feet right away, because you can also sway the judges by getting back up to your feet and maybe exploding with one last flurry.
I want you to stick with the striking game. You're destroying them like that.
All right, a lot of tremendous striking action in that last round, DC. I know you don't have a telestrator, but take us through the replay.
I mean, I would love to have my telestrator right now. That was a great display of high-level mixed martial arts striking. Both combatants stood toe-to-toe and let it all hang out.
You ready to fight? Ready.
Crowd fired up, so are we. Third and final round. Maybe time to get the bonus checks ready.
I mean, this fight is about done. He's got him hurt very bad with his head kick. Now he has to find one more strike to end the night.
Oh, the Superman punch lands. All right, well, good news is he rocked him. Bad news is he wasn't able to finish the job, and now his opponent's back in the fight.
I mean, you don't get those opportunities very often. You got to take full advantage of them when they're presented to you.
Oh, he lands another strike to the body, really starting to pile. Gets back to his feet.
Nice jab. Oh, nice body shot.
Ooh.
Nice leg kick. Clean punch.
Green gets touched by that kick right to the body there. Nicely done by the opponent. Tries to work it into a takedown. Closes the gap and gets the single collar tie now.
He's got to find a way to finish this fight.
And he gets the single leg takedown. Oh, he's setting up an armbar now. Oh, that looks wicked tight.
It's getting tight now. He's advancing.
You gotta be kidding me. How did he get out?
He just stayed calm. He was able to withstand the fire, and now he finds himself out and safe.
Oh, somehow he gets out. Fantastic submission, D. 90 seconds to go to decide this one.
Nice transition. He's got him flat on his back. Nice shots landing from the top position.
Pretty athletic off his back to avoid that strike from the top.
Another strike gets through from the top position.
Pimlet's back in full mount. Nice positional control here. going for the sub here.
Oh, my goodness. He might have it.
Oh, that's got to be it. Oh, submission defense on full display there.
He said that he was very aware of what this guy brought to the octagon, and it showed in that defense.
The official decision is in. It resides with Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. The judges score the contest 29-28, 30-27, and 30-27. Declaring the winner by unanimous decision, Paddy the Baddy Pimblett!
All right, so clearly some disappointment on the face of the boxer there, and perhaps he'll draw a striker next. But the story tonight, the BJJ player getting it done on the scorecards and turning in what you could argue is his best performance in the UFC today.
I agree with you. I agree that this was the best that we've ever seen him look. But it was all rooted in the matchup. He knew that there was a clear path to victory, and he stayed down that path until he got his hand raised.
Well, some would argue this is the deepest division in the UFC right now, 145 pounds, a lot of killers at the top. This man has emerged out of the pack and gets his much-deserved title shot here tonight.
From the moment he got to the UFC, he told us we were viewing someone that could make an impact, a future champion that will remind us of the great featherweight champs Max Holloway, Jose Aldo Jr. He said, I am special. I will be a champion one day. Tonight, he gets the opportunity. Let's see if he can cash in.
Now, it appeared as though the weight cut was a little bit difficult. He did not want to hear that noise, but that is behind him, and we'll see how it goes for him here on Saturday night. Proudly repping the Anzacs, Australia and New Zealand. Here is City Kickboxing's UFC featherweight champion, Alexander Volkanovski. Draws rave reviews from past opponents, from his teammates. He is the ultimate competitor, and anybody who saw him compete in a rugby league setting at 214 pounds, I might add, knows just how committed this guy is to athletics and to realizing greatness in the UFC. He certainly did that against Max Holloway. But he's going to get everybody's best shot, and that continues in earnest here tonight as they all continue to chase down the Australian champion, Volkanovski. And now our tale of the tape for this featherweight championship fight. Here is Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. Championship of the World. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, presenting the challenger, Diego Lopez. And now introducing the champion, fighting out of the red corner, presenting the reigning, defending, undisputed UFC featherweight champion of the world, Alexander the Great Volkanovski.
Herb Dean is your referee. He's the third man in the octagon tonight. All right, the Volkman, Alexander Volkanovski, at one point in rugby league, he weighed 214 pounds. As you know, he competes at 145 pounds in mixed martial arts, and he has evolved into the best featherweight in the world today. Striking is the focus here tonight, particularly when it comes to the leg kicks. Believes that he can get those calves pretty sore on his opponent here early. Volkanovski circling towards the left now. All right, so we will see early on how the Volkman chooses to proceed, and no surprise to see Volkanovski go to the leg kicker.
I mean, we have seen this constantly with Alexander Volkanovski, especially in the first Max Holloway fight. He won the fight behind the leg kicks. He is so smart inside of the octagon that he will throw these leg kicks, not hard, but they draw something out of you, and then he starts to attack you with things that have more force. This guy's tremendous, and that is why he's the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. Trying to recover full guard there.
Going for a submission now, or so it appears.
He's looking to finish, John.
Oh, he's in trouble. Oh, he got out. How good is that?
This guy is so aware. He never leaves anything long to allow for himself to get subbed.
Oh, you gotta love the ground and pound strikes here. Again, not much defense there. Another ground strike gets through. Oh, Volkanovski's in half guard now. All right, operating inside the closed guard now. Trying to pass the guard here, but a nice job by the bottom fighter defensively.
Bottom fighter did a fantastic job of following with his hips, making sure he blocked any attempt to get past his guard.
All right, so from being dominated to in the dominant position. Nice reversal on the ground.
Side control is pretty safe there. Oh, nice right hand by the chin. Yeah. Oh, nice.
Not there yet, but might get the submission here shortly. Making all these shots count. Oh, he reversed position there on the ground, and he's now in the dominant position. All right, side control now, DC. You know he's in his element on the ground. A lot of tricks up his sleeve.
A lot of tricks.
All right, we'll see if he can apply pressure inside his opponent's guard here, DC. Well, this is exactly what you like to see. Nice combination of ground and pound punches. Outstanding pressure and activity by Volkov. All right, half guard position here. We'll see what he can do with it. A lot of weapons at his disposal from this dominant position.
Oh, man. I feel for a wrestler, this is the most dominant position in all of fighting, because wrestlers love control.
Right.
And to have your upper body free and your leg able to hold your opponent in position, it is like striking gold. Build your posture, throw your punches, big damage, but then always control the far side underhook. This is a great position for a top fighter.
All right, let's take a look back at some of the replays from that last round.
Unbelievable to see these high-level competitors get in each other's face, tuck their chin, bite down on the mouth guard, and just let it all hang out over the course of 5 minutes.
All right, so there's the end of the round. We had a big submission attempt there midway through, but largely the submission defense held up.
It wasn't tight. We
Ready,
thought
fight?
the fight was over.
Ready.
But stayed patient, stayed calm, relaxed, and found his way out of that deep submission.
Unable to connect there. Big knee lands there. Both fighters throwing heat now. A swing and a miss by Volkov. Right on the button. right kick is there again for Alexander Volkanovski, DC.
Those leg kicks, he's so good at registering where his opponent's going to be. So throwing leg kicks to build a lead. Right now he lands another one. And as we expect, Alexander Volkanovski is once again ahead in the fight.
Volkanovski's pass attempt denied. All right, he's very comfortable fighting off his back, DC. Now looks like he's trying to hip escape.
Yeah, he's trying to hip escape or maybe look for a Kimura here.
All right, working on the ground here. His opponent's feet on the hips. Oh, Volkanovski's back in half guard. Very comfortable here.
Nice transition.
Posture's up now. That's a vicious head strike. How'd he take it?
Another one. I mean, he cannot miss from the top position.
Nice pass.
Pretty good work with the ground and pound here by Volka. Just over 2 minutes now to go. Working in half guard here, making these shots count. All right, trying to pass here. As Glover Teixeira might say, not today.
Not today. Great job of following with the hips, keeping those legs locked and keeping them in full guard.
And very effective with the ground and pound.
Great job landing from the top position.
This is a terrible position.
Another ground and pound strike lands.
Oh, huge elbow. Constantly a moving target. 20 seconds left. There's the classic ground and pound elbow to the head.
Great shot from the top position.
Oh, he got saved by the bell there. He was getting absolutely starched on the ground, grounded and pounded. Thankfully, the horn came at a good time. You see, gingerly, he gets back to his feet. He'll go back to the stool now for 60 seconds. Now the onus is on his corner to try to keep him in the fight. All right, let's get you some pictures from that previous round, DC. A lot of good work with the ground and pound strike.
Yeah, he was able to control posture, get himself postured up, land big ground and pound as he ended the round. What a great finish to a fantastic round.
You ready? You ready? Let's do it.
Round 3 of a possible 5. Keeping him honest with the jab.
Beautiful takedown land there.
Big right hook there by champ.
Oh, trying to pass here, but Dikembe Mutombo style, he gets denied.
Blocked! Great job blocking that pass by the bottom fighter.
Well, good dexterity and movement here on the ground to avoid any further damage, courtesy of that ground and pound. Nice job off of his back.
He's got to be careful here.
Thought about a choke, instead flattens him out, and now he's got a lot of options offensively, champ.
Yeah, he's got all the options available to him. Now he just has to get all that hip pressure into his opponent's back and just start raining down ground and pound.
And if you're the bottom fighter, better start intelligently defending yourself. Posture's up now and lands the vicious head strike. All right, great position for him here. He's got the full mount. See if he can get that ground and pound going.
Oh, he's got to...
All right, so he's setting up for submission here. Oh, good technique there. He's got the triangle choke locked in.
Trying to finish the armbar. Now, all he's got to do now is get his hips up into the back of the elbow to get the finish. Whoa,
submission defense. He gets out.
I mean, calmness in that moment.
guy into the mount. Not a great position, but much better than getting his arm snapped in half from an armbar.
All right, he's got side control here, DC. You know, he's got a lot of different submissions in his arsenal once this fight gets to the ground. Can't get it. Good awareness by the defensive fighter. Continuing to stay busy here on the ground. Well, anytime you are in a ground fighting situation with this fighter, you're potentially playing with fire. Fighter trying to pass here, but gets denied.
Gets denied. Great job, great recognition of seeing what your opponent was trying to do.
Beautiful transition.
Under 20 seconds now to go.
Now he's going full mount.
Trying to guard pass here. Not today.
No, it ain't happening. Good job understanding the transitions.
All right, take a seat. Relaxa. Respira. Look, you're being overly aggressive right now, okay? You're being way too hyper on this fight. I need you to calm down.
All right, that's the end of the round as we show you some of the highlights over those 5 minutes. Really a clinic when it comes to the ground and pound.
Yeah, man, this is what you're taught. When you're learning to become a ground and pound fighter, you want to do it exactly like he did. Gain posture, have height, control hands and wrists. Land strikes, don't throw too many, throw just enough, control, throw again, control. He did it perfect.
Ready.
We have arrived at the 4th round, fight scheduled for 5 5-minute rounds. All right, here we go. The tension is palpable. 4th round is underway. You've got a thing or two to say about these championship rounds.
The 4th round is easily the hardest round in fighting. You're so used to fighting up to 3. You got to get back off of that stool, and this is a real test of your will and desire to win a fight.
And both fighters exchanging the method. Oh, how about the accuracy to land right there? His opponent's wobble chin.
He's hurt bad. He cannot take another shot like that.
Missed with that attempt.
Beautiful jab there by the champ.
All right, so we're starting to see some swelling now, DC. We'll see if he can make some adjustments defensively.
He's taking too many of these shots up top. I mean, he's got to move his head right away. He's waiting. He's being reactive. You got to be active in your motions before your opponent sets up their attacks.
Under 3 minutes to go in round 4. Oh, he's really starting to apply pressure on his opponent.
Big, massive shot lands. Look at how tough his opponent is, though. Still standing, still in their fight.
So pretty good recovery by the opponent after getting stunned pretty good. Got to capitalize on those opportunities.
I mean, you can't waste these opportunities. You don't get them as often as you'd like. So when you get a guy hurt, you got to find a way to finish the fight.
Landed that left hook.
Back and forth we go. These two guys are trading huge shots.
Oh, look at that. Big uppercut.
He needs to start looking to finish now because he's got his opponent hurt very bad.
Well, he's got his back now. Under a minute now to go. All right, so he's got the body locked down here, DC, or so it appears. This is not a guy you want anywhere near your back. All right, feet on the hips here.
Just because he got taken down doesn't mean he ain't gonna punch. Lands a beautiful strike from the bottom. Big ground and pound.
Great job changing the position and getting that reversal.
Oh, he's got the ground and pound going now. Buzzer sounds for the end of round 4. All right, there's the end of the round. I'm looking over to my left, UFC President Dana White. I think he's making out the bonus check right now. Incredible back and forth action.
Sign the check, boss. These two young men deserve 50,000. Hell, let's give them each 100,000 for the performance that they just put on in one round. Both were hurt. Both were able to withstand the punishment, and I can't wait until the next round gets started.
All right, so let us now check out some of the action in that round, DC. There was a whole lot of it, including a stunner upstairs that nearly closed the show.
It was a lot of action. It was back and forth action, but the big moment was that big strike to the head that landed, that put him on wobbly legs, and in survival mode, luckily he made it to the end of that round.
Fifth and final round. Volkanovski gets stunned there by that stiff jab. Oh, a huge block there. Well, he lands another strike there, DC, and no surprise, the swelling only getting worse.
It's getting worse. You know, we talked about this very early, how he needed to change something. He hasn't changed it, and now the swelling is starting to get bad.
The 1-2 punch is true. There's the single. Oh, and he escapes up to his feet. Very nice. Well, that calf is starting to show signs of bruising now.
And you can tell in the way that he's walking. It's starting to take an effect.
Just out of range with that left hook.
And he's tired too, John. You know, he's tired too. I know he goes hard. He doesn't show it. You know, it's like playing poker. But he's just as tired.
3 minutes now to go in this one. And busy as he looks to improve position here.
Oh, this is where you don't want to be, though. Oh.
Back mount now. Landing strikes nicely here from top position. Well, this fight's been pretty crazy thus far. Both guys doling out a lot of damage, and neither seems too bothered by it, but clearly both parties are hurt.
Both guys are hurt. Both guys.
All right, he's got the hooks in, DC, working off of his back.
Now look for him to attack the neck of his opponent to try to get the rear choke.
This is some exhausting work, man.
I mean, it is so tiring to be fighting in this way. So much wrestling, so much grappling, expending all this energy trying to hold the guy down. I mean, no takedown is not fought. No reversal is not fought. Everything they're doing is fought to the very last minute before it gets given up.
Oh, lands with the ground and pound strike. Man, he's killing it on the ground. Another strike gets through.
That was a slick transition.
All right, so he's sort of turtled up here. Not great body language. Perhaps he's trying to bait him in a little bit. All right, so some definite damage underneath the elbow now on the side of his opponent. A lot of strikes to the body starting to add up.
Yeah, a lot of strikes to the body.
All back and forth action right till the final horn. What a tremendous finish to this one as we go the full 25 minutes. All right, so once again, the champion takes all the best shots from the #1 contender. It goes the full 25-minute distance tonight. I think the champion might have just eked it out.
Just eked it out. I mean, this was as close as a close championship fight comes. He got pushed at every level of this fight. He got pushed at every moment of this fight. But I believe he got it done. I believe he will keep his championship.
The official decision is in. It resides with Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 5 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for decision. For the winner by split decision, and still the undisputed UFC featherweight champion of the world, Alexander the Great Volkanovski.
All right, well, his future, of course, is in the UFC Hall of Fame, but his present Still plucking scalps in this UFC featherweight division. Alexander Volkanovski getting another one tonight. This one by way of decision.
What a massive victory for the champ. What an ability to adjust, work the game plan, and stay the course. Watching this guy is like being in a physics class with the smartest kids on campus.
All right, so here he is, the human highlight film. With respect to Dominique Wilkins in MMA, that is Justin Gaethje, former UFC interim lightweight champion, and man, he is must-see television. I'm not sure any fighter really has that type of relationship with the fan base in terms of instant electricity like Justin Gaethje.
I mean, Justin Gaethje has a magnetic appeal to people watching fights because you know that you're going to see a guy that goes out there and lays it all out on the line. But in tonight's fight, he has an opponent that's willing to do the same thing. Maybe not as well known, but a guy that is willing and wants to engage in the tough fight. And when that happens, we may be in line for another Justin Gaethje-Michael Chandler fight, which we all love.
Oh, yeah. And Gaethje does believe a win tonight is going to put him exactly where he needs to be. But, of course, easier said than done against this also elite competition. Well, you want to talk about a fighter who checks all the boxes, DC. Here's the UFC featherweight king, your right-hand man, Max Blessel.
The Blessed Express is always on my mind. He's one of the best fighters and one of the best guys that we know. The pace and the ability to push and press forward is something that the UFC's featherweight division has never really seen. To melt Jose Aldo in the way that he did, to melt Brian Ortega in the way that he did, is truly a compliment to Max Holloway in his preparation, true Hawaiian to his soul, and it shows in the toughness that he exhibits when he steps into the octagon.
You talk about a guy ably taking the torch from the Hall of Famer BJ Penn. Max blessed Holloway. Few guys are going to be able to match the cardio. You mentioned the pace and the pressure. All eyes on Max Holloway yet again here tonight. Max Holloway steps inside the octagon. He is ready to fight. your tale of the tape for this lightweight championship fight. We go inside the octagon. Here is Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. It's time! 5 rounds for the undisputed UFC Lightweight Championship of the World. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, presenting the challenger, Justin the Highlight Gaethje. And now introducing the champion, fighting out of the red corner, presenting the reigning, defending, undisputed UFC Lightweight Champion of the World, Max Rust Holloway.
Herb Dean, third party in the octagon tonight. All right, every round begins on the feet, and that is music to the ears of one Justin Gaethje, arguably the most exciting fighter in mixed martial arts today, and he's going to get after it, of that you can be sure. There's that jab from Max Holloway. Didn't take him long. Right there, he could be in trouble.
He's in trouble. He's hurt bad. He doesn't know if he's in the octagon or at his mama's house for Thanksgiving. Dude's hurt. Serve him up. Go get him. Knock him out. The fight's done. That level of Gaethje is crazy.
All right, so he's landed a few big uppercuts already. And DC, I know you're in the prediction business. You think he's going to set it up again here?
I am certain he's going to try and set that up again. Expect it to come off of a left hook, because off the left hook, don't anticipate the next punch coming right up the middle. He's real good at trying to find that shot.
Well, he's been good tonight, but he missed with that one. Gaethje's lower jaw now starting to show signs of swelling. Just over 3 minutes to go, round one.
Nice jab in there by Holloway.
Oh, that's a heavy kick downstairs.
Nice shot there by the champ.
Big right hand. Again, going back to the jab just out of range. Well, nice job by Gaethje.
Oh, he's stunned bad. He's got to grab him. He's got to recover.
Oh, big left from Gaethje. Nice kicks there by Holloway. Hook in the clinch there by Gaethje.
He's got great kicks also. He needs to be throwing more kicks in this fight. He hasn't thrown many at all. Good jab by Gaethje. Tries to take out the leg. Beautiful leg kick lands.
Superman punch now. 45 seconds to go here in round one. Leg kick.
Wow, he lands another leg kick.
Oh, nice punch there by Justin Gaethje. 20 seconds left. Gaethje gets tattooed with that hook. He's going to have to change some things here.
Another punch to the head.
Oh, huge strike lands there, and somehow his opponent's chin held up.
His opponent's chin held up, but you do not want to be on the receiving end of those types of strikes.
Deep breath in. All right, here's some water. Ready? Listen. All right. You're doing awesome out there.
All right, so there's the horn signifying the end of the round. A stunner there with the head strike midway through. Nearly got him out of there for good.
Almost got him out of there. He hurt him badly. He had his opponent hurt real bad. Now his opponent's walking back to his corner. Everybody looks confused. They don't know what they're supposed to do to try to change the way that this fight is going.
All right, DC, here we go. Round two. How good is this? Max Holloway versus Justin Gaethje. All right, next round is now underway. I thought there was pretty good back-and-forth action in the previous round.
Yes, it wasn't a firefight. It wasn't two guys throwing the kitchen sink at each other. But you did see times where they came together and you saw the skill level of these two fighters.
Oh, almost like you saw the skin swell right away after he landed that strike.
So that trainer's going to have to bring in...
When DC, he is hurt.
What a beautiful uppercut. It landed beautifully. Perfect placement on that shot.
Well, no denying that he rocked him, but couldn't quite get the finish. Oh, he gets back up. The question is for how long?
Huge shots landing on both sides. Man, what a fight. Barely missed on an uppercut right here on the inside. I mean, he's cutting them down to size with these beautiful leg kicks. Yeah, he's got to. He's got to start checking kicks.
Under 3 minutes now to go round 2.
This is big. That's big. Oh!
Lands a good combination. Swing and a miss by Gaethje. So we lean on the numbers here. 47 total strikes have landed for Max Blessed Holloway. And the accuracy rate, 36% for him against Justin Gaethje. Big shots being landed on both sides here. So a much different approach from him here in round 2. Took him a while to find the range, get in his striking rhythm. He has found it here, and as a result, has really picked up the pace in round 2. Well, he's able to get back up here, but oh, man, is he on wobbly legs.
That one was thrown to end the fight.
Yep. Oh, that's a big connection for Justin Gaethje, and really just loves being in that octagon. I'm not sure anybody loves fighting as much. Huge shot finds the target there.
Great shot lands. Now he's got to go find that follow-up attempt. The kill shot was what they call it, to go and end the fight. Leg kick lands, my favorite strike.
Oh, look at that. He leapt up and landed the diving. Stop it and he will.
Holy smokes!
What a fight! Well, make no mistake about it, he is getting 2 paychecks tonight as he gets the big TKO victory. Wow.
That's unbelievable. It was crazy to watch his finishing instincts on display as he got that massive victory. It was amazing, John. It was amazing.
Bruce Buffer has the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Herb Dean has called a stop to this contest at 4 minutes, 51 seconds of round number 2. Declaring the winner by TKO and still the undisputed UFC lightweight champion of the world, Max Blessed Holloway.
All right, so you heard it there from Buffett. Goes into the books as a TKO for Max Blessed Holloway, and I'm sure he'll be FaceTiming you Monday morning to celebrate. What a huge win.
Huge win for Max Holloway. John, you and I have spoken, and we have called his fights for years, and he's only getting better. But that activity, I mean, we have seen this guy throw so many punches over the course of a fight, and once again, it is proven to be so effective as his opponents just kind of melt in front of him.
Yeah.
And he earns another massive TKO victory.
All right, congratulations to Max Blessed Holloway, likely coming back to a title fight near you in the not-too-distant future.
this look like, dude?
The ground strikes starting to pile up.
Of those types of strikes.
Deep breath in. All right, here's some water. Ready? Listen. All right. Doing awesome out there.
All right, so there's the horn signifying the end of the round. A stunner there with the head strike midway through.